So, Ginger.
Yeah?
You know how we wanted to start a podcast, but we were having trouble coming up with a topic?
Yeah?
Okay, so here's my pitch. The topic of the podcast is us trying to come up with the topic for the podcast.
What, like we pitch each other podcast ideas and that's the podcast?
Yeah, exactly. We could call it, What Should Our Podcast Be About?
Miles, that's really stupid. Let's do it.
What should this song be about? I'm trying to figure it out. What should this song be about? Could you perhaps help me out? I've had a moment of doubt. What should this song be about? Welcome to What Should Our Podcast Be About? A podcast where we try to figure out what this podcast that you're listening to should be about. I'm Miles Grover.
And I'm Ginger Barham.
And today we have a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
It's me! It's me.
Who is me?
Svetlana.
It's our
And who
daughter,
are you, Svetlana?
I am the guy's daughter, and also I'm an expert in science and all things Svetlana.
The guy would be Miles.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm the guy. And this is the child. One of the childs. That's not the
The
plural
one that
child.
can talk.
The other child is also here, and he is probably going to be noisy.
Yes.
He's just chillaxing in his little chair right now, but we'll see. Oh, there he goes, the little monkey sounds. Okay. So, this podcast is about what this podcast is going to be about. So, who has ideas that they want to start with?
Me. And me.
Let's let our guest go first.
Go first, guest.
Okay, so Svetlana Google is where you can ask me something that you want to ask Google, and I will give you the answer I think it is, or I think would be funny. And then you look at Google's answer, and we vote on which one is better.
Who votes?
Ginger and Dad and Roy. And my apple juice.
I don't think that we're going to give your apple juice a vote. So you're saying the podcast is we have you on every week, and instead of Googling, or in addition to Googling stuff, we ask you the answer, and then we compare it to what the Google results are.
Mm-hmm. You and Ginger can vote.
We can vote. Maybe it would make... your answer is probably almost always going to be better.
Fair.
I don't really see much point in voting, but maybe we could do figure out. I think there's a way to see what are the biggest things being Googled lately. So we could just go off a list of the top the latest 10 big Google things that people are Googling.
I just came up with one in my head, and it was why is everyone mad at Disney, which is one I saw while I was trying to Google something else, and I don't remember what it was, but that's not related.
Why is everyone mad at Disney?
Yeah, and I would be because they decided that Mickey Mouse doesn't like Swiss cheese. But then you look at it, and I clicked on it because I was like, but Disney! And they were like, because there's increasing prices and blah, blah, blah. So.
Yeah.
That was a good imitation of Google. Well
Thank
done.
you.
That's
You
what
sounded
Google
just
sounds
like Google.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm looking at. I'm trying to look up what are the most Googled things, and it turns out the most Googled thing is Facebook. People just typing Facebook into Google.
Why?
Did you get to Facebook?
Yeah, or typing YouTube into Google, or Amazon, weather, Walmart, Google. People type Google into Google.
Why?
To get to Google, I guess. Wordle, Gmail, Target, Home Depot. So none of that stuff is interesting. So we wouldn't do that. But there's...
Hello, I'm Wordle. Wordle the turtle.
But...
Yes, the famous Wordle mascot, Wordle the Turtle.
Wordle the Turtle. Top 100 most searched questions in the U.S. are what to watch, what time is it, how many ounces in a cup, where the crawdads sing. Okay, Svetlana Google, where do the crawdads sing?
What is a crawdad?
A crawdad is like a sort of...
Wait, don't tell me.
It's
Don't
kind
tell
of
me.
like a shrimp.
Don't tell me. Okay, the crawdads sing in Louisiana.
Surprisingly, it was kind of close.
You knew you were too close, so you added something silly to it.
Wait, they actually live in Louisiana?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know that. I just picked somewhere randomly.
I think maybe somewhere in your brain you knew that.
I don't
Okay,
even know what
how about
crawdads
let's
were.
Svetlana Google what's a crawdad. Svetlana Google, what is a crawdad?
It's a little man who lives in a shoe under a table inside of a PC and a little bottom part that no one looks in. And his biggest fear is when you clean your PC.
I have a feeling that a lot of the answers on Svetlana Google are going to be things she sees in the room nearby.
I have a feeling that they are often going to be a little man that lives inside of something because I know Svetlana and we've been down this road before.
Probably
Last time it was a couch cushion, I'm just saying.
probably lives in a shoe based on past history. And the shoe will be under something.
Well, technically this time
All
it
right,
was inside it.
So that's one idea.
We can explore this more later, but that's one idea. Okay. Ginger, do you have an idea?
Yeah, so I was thinking a podcast where we just come up with celebrity pun names for animals.
Okay. Can you give an example?
Hunter S. Tomcat.
Wordle the turtle.
That's not a celebrity yeah. So
Hunter S. Tomcat. Okay.
Hunter S. Tomcat. I didn't prepare.
Okay. But
but
we might be seeing a preview of how that podcast would go.
well, I'm on the spot, so my mind went blank.
Sure. Well, so okay. Would there be something to prompt, like what celebrities are in the news lately, or
just somebody gives an animal like I've got a parakeet. What should I name it? Larry
Cream
Bird.
puff. No.
Well,
Parakeith David? I don't know.
so again, celebrity puns.
That's what I did.
I know. But I'm pointing it out to her again because she just shouted cream puff.
I don't know any celebrity.
So it could be a podcast where we just try to name people's pets for them, I guess. And probably most of the time Svetlana's suggestion would be cream puff.
Uh-huh.
Okay. This one feels a little thin.
It is a little thin.
I feel like we
Not
need
all
more of
gonna
a
be
hook.
winners.
We need more of a hook on that, right?
I have an idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
It's called Don't Even Get Me Started. And it's where I give someone a topic and they have to go on an angry rant about it.
Okay.
I could be like, Dad, marshmallows. And you'd be like, don't even get me started. Like,
Don't
they're
even
so
get me
boring.
started with
Like, I'm
marshmallows.
sugary, like, why? Like that.
Yeah, if you put them in the microwave, they get all huge. Who wants that? Okay. That could be something. There's something there. What would be the thing, like the things that prompt the don't even get me started? Just random stuff you think of?
Just random stuff I think of. I could make a wheel, like an online wheel, and that has
Like a
bunch in it.
randomizer.
Yeah, and you can just pick one and be like, today's topic is parakeets.
Don't even get me started on parakeets.
Yeah, you and Ginger can take turns.
Okay.
What are they doing being so tiny and green and
Colorful.
think they
and
can
stuff.
just poop wherever they want?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's something. That could be something.
What about you, Miles? What do you got for us?
Let's see. I have written down here Bird of the Day podcast, which I guess would be a daily podcast.
Where you just pick a bird
Where we
and
pick a
talk
bird
about
and
it?
talk about it.
Parakeet.
And every day it's parakeet.
And every day it's a parakeet. We
Bird of,
haven't even managed to do one a week. I feel like a daily podcast might be a little ambitious.
But think about it this way. What if it is a Bird of the Day podcast, but it is parakeet every day?
Okay.
I sure love parakeets still. Want to hear the same facts about parakeets again? One time I saw a parakeet and it looked at me.
Remember that scene from Dumb and Dumber where they taped the bird's head back on?
Yeah.
That's the only parakeet scene I can think
the
of.
bird, like, what, Svetlana?
And like people could send in stories about parakeets. Like, well, one time I saw a parakeet, and I was like, oh. For the people who are listening to this, which is everyone, I went dramatically to the side. And
You did kind of a dramatic chipmunk or dramatic whatever that marmot or whatever that thing is.
yeah,
Prairie dog.
Bum, bum, bum.
yeah,
I
that.
believe it's a prairie dog.
So that's one idea. Or I guess that's two ideas. One idea is Bird of the Day podcast, and another idea is the Same Bird Every Day podcast. Another idea I have written down here is rate animals by what kind of guy they are. So there's like this other podcast we were listening to a little bit where they like rate an animal based on like it's like effectiveness and it's like beauty and like I don't know, a bunch of other silly things.
So
But
like,
instead it would be like,
what kind of guy they are? So like, this parakeet's a little gentleman.
yeah, like, or parakeets in general are little gentlemen, or like owls, they're spooky, stay away, or whatever.
Matt Daddy
Alright.
hates owls.
Yeah,
So rating
He got
animals
mad
like based on their vibes.
like vibe based animal ratings.
that one sounds kind of fun actually.
Yeah. Do you think we would do one animal per episode? Or maybe a couple animals per episode, something like that?
Yeah, I think we'd have to do a couple because I don't feel like I could spend 30 minutes talking about like owl vibes really.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of different kinds of owls, I guess.
That's true.
Like the ones that have an apple fur face have a totally different vibe than like the ones that have little horns
Yeah,
and stuff.
like a sliced in half apple. All right, I like that one.
I
feel
like.
like there's places to go with that one.
Yeah, that one could be fun.
Can we like just stop and vote on our favorite one so far?
Sure. What do you think your favorite one is, Svetlana?
Don't get me started. Or Svetlana Google, but probably don't get me started.
Don't get me started. What about you, Ginger?
I'm really into the animal vibes.
Animal
But you know,
vibe.
anything with animals I'm gonna be pretty sold on.
Well, could we combine Don't Get Me Started with Animal Vibes?
Oh, where we talk about like owls. Don't even get me started.
Don't even get me started on what kind of guy an owl is. That guy is a jerk. So every animal would be negative, I guess. Would have bad vibes if it's Don't Get Me Started. Or
No, not necessarily. It could be like, don't even get me started. Ugh, they're so cute.
right. Don't even me started on how great chipmunks are.
Yeah.
Or
I'm
those like
personally more into that, just because I feel like it's more fun to go positive, at least with animals.
well, I feel like it could be both because some animals are pretty lame.
I
Probably.
mean, if we're on the topic of wasps, then I can
Wasps.
see myself going a bit more negative.
Don't even get me started on sunfish, those big terrible fish that suck.
What?
I love
wait,
sunfish!
Why do sunfish suck?
Oh, that was like a meme that was going around. There's a whole thing about how they're like big idiots that don't do anything.
Okay, don't even get me started on
Well,
how big and awesome sunfish are. They are awesome.
We could have debates about. We
I
could
guess
have
I just
animal
threw my meme
debates.
cred out
Yes.
the window.
Don't even get me started on animals debates.
We could have dueling. Don't get me started
Yes.
on an animal. Okay,
All right.
pretty good. Should we talk about that more then? If we're all kind of agreed,
Yeah.
that's where we want to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Let's talk about that one some more.
So I think we would probably want to pick interesting animals, or would we want to pick like the most? Well, I don't think we would want to pick like I don't know, a squirrel. It's kind of basic at the park or whatever, right?
Can we pick ones that are like more controversial? Like I don't know, but something that's like some people are like, oh, it's cute, and some people are like, oh, it's creepy. Like the Venezuelan poodle moth.
You had that one right up your sleeve.
Strong feelings. I don't even know what a Venezuelan poodle moth is, let alone have strong feelings about it.
Well, I found it in art class as a reference, and I thought it was really cute, but the other kid at my table did not think it was really cute.
Is that's one of those like fluffy moths, right?
I'll get up a picture.
Well, a picture's not going to help
no one
people
will
on
be
the
able to
podcast.
see it.
Then they can Google it themselves.
But you can look up the picture and we can tell people what it looks like.
All right, yeah. So controversial. I guess how would we pick the animals each week?
I mean,
would it be a situation where we have people vote on animals or suggest animals? Okay, I'm looking at a picture of a Venezuelan poodle moth right now, and it's freaking adorable. It looks like a Pokemon. It does look like a Pokemon and not a real creature that exists in the world.
So this one's pretty good. I would counter with there are moths that look like this but are also like pink and yellow and stuff.
Those are called dang it, I forgot now, but I've seen them.
All right. Well,
in
so
the
don't even get me started on how cute the Venezuelan poodle moth is.
Yeah. Okay, so what are some like sucky animals? That dog that wins the ugly dog contest pretty much every year. It's the Chinese crested dog?
Chinese crested.
Yeah, what is that called?
I'll check.
It's called a rosy maple moth, and that's pretty cute. It's like pink and yellow, and very fuzzy and cute. What were we talking about though?
I like the Venezuelan poodle moth better than the rosy maple moth. I feel like the rosy maple moth just kind of looks like more like and too much going on and just.
The rosy maple moth is trying too hard. That's what you're saying.
I see.
What, maybe we have a segment on the show where it's, for instance, Venezuelan poodle moth versus the rosy maple moth. Which one, who wore it better?
or I do like this week on the animal that's trying too hard. It's this thing. It's the mantis shrimp. Why are you a little clown?
Though, now I will point out one downside to this, which is that people aren't necessarily, are we going to describe the animals? People aren't going to, or I guess people will have to Google them if they don't immediately know offhand what a mantis shrimp looks like.
Yeah, no, I think we'll have to decide what we're doing ahead of time, of course, and do a little research. But it's just like reading about animals, so we're probably both fine with that, I think. And then
Are we though?
Yeah, I mean it's like spend 10 minutes reading the Wikipedia or whatever, right? Or pick some animal that you already know about or whatever, and or whatever, and then in your rant, you got to be like, don't even get me started. Why is this pink and yellow moth about 4 centimeters wide? I don't know. Like, try to incorporate the facts about it. Tell them what they need to know as part of the thing.
So I have an animal that I would like to propose to do a debate on, and also I have a similar animal to do who wore it better on.
Okay. So what is it?
So this is the sea bunny.
Uh-huh.
A sea bunny. Looks like a ball of cotton that somebody just glued some ears on.
But it's really a real undersea creature.
And
right?
It's adorable. Yes.
Yes. And why are you mentioning that?
Because it's adorable.
What is your contention about that? Is it good? It's good.
It's good. It's adorable.
Okay.
So, but let's talk about, how the podcast should be structured, what kind of segments we'd want to have on it, rather than diving into the specific animals we want to cover.
Right.
What kind of segments could we have on this podcast?
It's a BBC bunny.
What?
It's a BBC bunny.
It's a baby sea bunny.
I was saying, who wore it better, the baby sea bunny or the adult sea bunny? I think the adult sea bunny looks fun, fluffier, and better. But you were saying.
Okay.
All right, so segments that we can have on our podcast.
Who wore it better?
Who wore it better?
And
Kind of cute animals versus cute animals.
Because usually who wore it better is two people wearing the same outfit or whatever, right? Or something similar.
Yeah,
so what animals are like?
It's a joke, two similar animals.
Yeah, I know. So what makes two animals similar?
They're both moths, or they're both bunnies.
They're both moths, they both look the same, they're both the same species, just a different age, something like that.
I do really like, though, animals that are trying too hard.
Yeah, that feels like something, right?
I feel like that would be pretty fun.
Maybe that's the whole podcast, animals that are trying too hard. And we go out and just find weird animals. And be like, come on. Little try hard.
And it can be like, don't even get me started on the rosy maple moth. It's trying so hard. Its colors the Venezuelan poodle moth is so much better. Mic drop.
Yes, okay. Maybe it should just be a podcast about the Venezuelan poodle moth. Seeing as that's where we keep coming back to.
I mean, it is really fun to say Venezuelan poodle moth.
That's true.
I'm enjoying that. If nothing else, I'm happy that we
know about that now.
That I know about the Venezuelan poodle moth.
Animals that are trying too hard seems like something.
Animals that are trying too hard. I think. Well, no, I like that as a segment. I think because I feel like I don't know if we could do a whole podcast that feels like a short segment. Let's just talk really quick about this overly flamboyant animal that we discovered.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could be a lot of things, right? It could be this animal is adapted for some really crazy specific situation, right? And so it's got it's got horns that look like spoons or something weird.
Or like
whatever.
That meerkat is it a meerkat? I think it's a type of lemur that's got the really long
the one long finger.
Just
yeah.
the one long finger.
The creepy
for
long
reaching
finger.
Into
Have you
trees.
seen those, Svetlana?
Svetlana, if you haven't seen that, I will show you a video later.
It's got one finger that it
dreams.
can stick in the hole and get ants out and eat the ants with it or something like that.
It's nightmarish looking.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Can I propose another animal that I'm pretty sure you guys know about?
Sure.
Coastal peacock spider. I think you guys either showed me that one or one really simple.
Oh, I showed you the peacock spider because it's the
cute
only
spider
that I like.
It is a cute spider.
Sorry, other spiders.
I think there are handfuls of closely related spiders that have those couple of big eyes in addition to all their little eyes or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're just a lot cuter, but yeah.
It just makes them less threatening, I guess.
I guess so.
They look less
and
like
they have
a crazy machine that's gonna crawl up my nose and eat my brain.
They have heads that are identifiable, faces that are identifiable as faces that we recognize, or whatever.
So I think another fun segment we could have would be, worst animal. Just a terrible animal.
Well, that's not. Yeah, I was trying to get
what you dislike about it. We could have one little negative segment, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think. Oh, buddy. I think what we would end up doing for this is just kind of Googling weird animals and stuff like that, and then making judgments about them, and then doing a bit about it, right? This animal, what makes an animal suck though, right? What is a crappy animal? And not just insects, right? Lots of insects are gross or whatever, but what would we say makes an animal lame?
Well, wasps, for instance, don't make anything. They just fly around drunkenly and sting people, right? Like, I mean,
I
they
don't know
look
why
like
you think they're drunk, but
They look like they're drunk. Have you ever seen a wasp like trying to walk across a table? They're weaving
Yeah.
They look like. I mean,
one time
I think we can all agree they're the alcoholics of the insect world.
one time I was outside with my friend and she had a slushie because it was during lunch, and a wasp stung her in the lip.
oof,
Yeah, they're jerks.
they're jerks.
They're jerks. So
There are
I
animals.
don't know if we count an insect as an animal, but I think we do, right?
Yeah, I guess so. There are animals that get drunk too. Like there's stories of like Alaskan towns where like a moose eats a bunch of like fermented apples off the ground and just like wanders around drunk in the town, messing stuff up.
So maybe not even just like a specific species of animal that sucks, but like one
It could be
specific
like
animal.
Ted the moose.
Ted the moose.
That messed up Juneau, Alaska, or whatever. What do you?
Or Cocaine Bear.
Or Cocaine
Apparently
Bear.
is a movie now.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I was trying to find some animals to give examples of, like bad animals, but like so the Dumbo octopus came up, and it's. Can I just say you need to see this?
That is a very cute little blobby octopus thing.
Oh, that's adorable. That also looks like a Pokemon.
Okay, maybe a bad animal. Conversely, would be I think it's called the vampire squid.
Vampire squid. All right. Svetlana, do you want to Google the vampire squid real quick?
Sure, but also I think we should also include giving cute weird animals Pokemon names.
Okay. Real life. It could be a podcast about like real life Pokemon. That could be interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so are we changing the scope of the podcast?
Not necessarily, but could
It could be a
explore that.
segment.
Yeah.
The vampire squid looks like a giant webbed foot. It just looks like a duck foot.
It does.
From there, it does. Yeah. I mean, it's like a blood sucking umbrella. I think.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Another terrible fish, the blobfish.
Yeah, but that one's not blobfish's fault because they look normal underwater. They only look terrible when they come up because they are supposed to be under immense pressure, and when they're under our like regular atmosphere up here, they explode. So it's not really their fault that we exploded them.
Okay, but can we feature on them on who wore it better? Because they totally look like humans. Like, or do we look like them?
They do look like a terrible human, I guess.
Like
So-
the Kevin no.
Okay, so terrible animals seems like it would be a good segment.
I just want to mention that the Latin name for vampire squid, Vampiroteuthis infernalis, literally means vampire squid from hell. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Vampire squid from hell. Do you think that's what somebody shouted at the first time they like had an encounter with one? It sucked
Probably.
his blood, and he was like, "You vampire squid from hell!"
Yeah, probably.
Guys, so another weird, really weird fish, Macropina macrostoma.
The one with the invisible head, yeah, or like you could see its brain through its skin or whatever.
How does something like that evolve? Like, what purpose does that serve?
Who knows?
It can be like, yo guys, look at my cool head. It can turn friends.
But they all have that head.
Maybe it's friends with other species,
Oh,
Dad.
okay. I guess I was being
Be
racist.
modern.
Yeah, so, I mean, actually, I think compared to some of the other ideas we've had, this one actually seems like it would be fun.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about like structure or like because I feel like I really like animals that are trying too hard. Maybe we pick animals. We each pick an animal to do a little rant on, and then maybe we have like little like tags for it. It's like, well, we're gonna put this guy in the category of animals that are trying too hard, and this one in the category of just a weird little guy.
Just a weird little guy.
Or this one goes in the category of like too spooky, 5 me.
Can I add another animal? The lowland streaked tenric.
That is a weird spiky thing. That would be a good possible topic for an episode for sure.
Yeah.
I think we may be getting to the end of our time in terms of what our extra little co-host can handle. Okay, that is a fish with lipstick on.
The red-lipped batfish. That is a fish with lipstick on it that is looking for a fight.
That is a fish that's trying too hard.
Yes.
That fish got tarted up and went down to the bar looking for a fight.
All right. So yeah, I feel like there's some legs on this one. That could be pretty fun.
Yeah. So maybe next week that's what our podcast
Yeah, maybe next
about.
week when you listen to this, it will be all about fish with lipstick and vampire squids from hell and stuff. And whatever this weird animal you're showing me is now.
It's a Santa Calogo. Calugo.
It looks like a bear that melted or something.
So, thank you to Svetlana.
Thank you to our guest Svetlana
Thank you to Rory.
and Rory, our extra co-host, and thank you to the listener. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please like us on iTunes or
Give
whatever,
us a review.
and
Bye.
or Apple Podcast. Is it called iTunes anymore? Even
I'll check. I can check.
all right.
I use Spotify.
Rory says it's time to go, so thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Spotify outside
Bye.
podcast.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey friends, sorry to jump in when you thought this podcast was all the way over, but it's not quite. Just wanted to let you know that if you want to follow us on social media, you can do so by going to our internet homepage, which is www.coolpodcast.website. Yes, that URL again is www.coolpodcast.website, and you'll find links to our social media there. So please follow us. Thank you. Bye. What was that podcast about? I'm trying to figure it out. What was that podcast about? Could you perhaps help me out? I'm covered in sauerkraut. Didn't catch what that was about.